It's Princeton, Africa. When I was first. You're welcome to Live by Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. We are back at it again. My name is DJ TYB, the place to be. It's another Saturday from Zimbabwe to Addis Ababa, the Caribbean. Around the globe, we are back at it again. We've been away for some time right now, but hey, we are getting it together today. We've got you hooked up because you know what? We have a very special show for you. As usual, you're not going to be disappointed. We have OBIE with us. And before we go with OBIE, I would like to say that I have noticed something today. Because it's summertime, I have never seen Ron dressed in his summer clothes. And you know what? I'm impressed. I'm really, really, really impressed. Hi, Ron. How you doing, my brother?
Oh, hey, TYB. I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm just getting a little feedback here, but that's okay. And beautiful. Yeah, I tell you, it's summer. It just turned summer. So I'm wearing some of my summer clothing.
And Petra, Miss Grant, how you doing?
I'm good, TYB. Hey, Love Bay family. Hey, Ron. Hey, OBIE.
Hey.
Doing great.
Awesome. How was your week?
My week?
Yes.
Oh, my week was really, really good. You know, just staying busy with work and everything. But I literally just came back from the gym because, you know, I do Muay Thai now. So it was great. So they're ready for the show.
Awesome. And we have a special show for you, folks. We have OBIE with us. And before we start, I would say a very big thank you to Richardine, as usual, the Queen. We thank you for making available all these wonderful artists who have come through here. And we are expecting to have a very great conversation with OBIE right now. And before we do that, I will always, as I always do, give the honors to Miss Grant to open up this show. Miss Grant, the floor is yours.
You're so lovely, TYB. Thank you so much. So OBIE, thank you. Welcome to Harris, Africa. I wanted to ask you, like my signature question, who is OBIE IYOHA? Can you share that to the listeners?
OBIE IYOHA is a first generation Nigerian American who was raised within the realms of art. I'm the youngest of 5. A lot of my influences were passed down, hand-me-down influences from my older siblings. And, you know, typical with Nigerian families, you know, everyone, if you're not a doctor, you get me? So I think they took a lot of the pressure of that my parents put on. And for me, I got to, you know, toy around with my passions and feel like I caught on to something. And it was hard fought, but it was something that I ended up taking very seriously. OBIE is a creative in all senses of the word. You know, I like to create. I love to create. That's what I love to do. And you know, I think that's where it's gotten me here. You know, whether it be visual arts, music, screenwriting. I like to tell stories through my music. So
that's amazing.
I am. I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I'm an artist.
For sure. Thank you for sharing. And I want to explore that because you said you're a creator and you express art in many different ways. Can you just kind of delve a little bit into that before we get into the music?
Sure.
Express yourself in your different art. Yeah.
Since I was a kid, I've been painting, I've been drawing, I've been making comic books. I would design video games. I was 12. I would code RPG games on my dad's computer. So it was something I always been into. Always been into that. And then by the time I got to high school, I got into poetry. Poetry turned into rap. Rap turned into songwriting. Then I started taking singing lessons and music theory, and all while keeping up with my visual arts, which is like a big part of what I do. came to. So yeah, that I think that's you know, any medium that I can express myself to or share my story. It wasn't intended to be for people. I was just doing it because I like it. That's just the truth. So I was just doing what I enjoy. And you know, turn by turn, people were like, oh, I like that. Can you send that to me? Oh, hey, when you gonna drop a mixtape? I said, okay, I guess I will. Fine. And so it was just turn by turn like that. I just started, you know, taking it more and more serious. And then by the time I got invited to go on tour with a group, this is like, you know, very beginning of my career is like 2015, 2016. By then, that experience let me know, all right, this is what I want to do. This is what I love. I love to get on stage and share my soul with people and, you know, get that feedback, get that energy back. It's a beautiful circle. So yeah, that's how it started. That's how it's going.
It's amazing. And I love that you're living in all aspects of your truth, you know, like your truth is your music, your truth is your visual art. So yeah, more power to you living in that, you know?
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I love to do.
Yeah, you're welcome. Ron?
Hey, Obi, good to have you here. Before the show started, we started talking, and you mentioned, of course, like I can see in the background there, you say that you're from Nigeria, but yet you are living in Michigan, down in the United States of America. So tell us about that journey and how come, you know, you either why you left or was it something you did on purpose, or were your parents moving you there?
Well, you know, I was born in North Carolina. You know, I'm of all my siblings, I'm the one who was born in America. All my siblings were raised in Benin. So, you know, it was I'm first generation. You know, I was born here. My dad got a job with Ford as an engineer, and so we moved from North Carolina up to Michigan. So, you know, honestly, bro, like, you know, my journey, like I didn't meet my older siblings until I was like 7 or 8, because my family had to split up in order for us to come to America. So my eldest siblings were born and raised. They lived in Benin with my grandmother until they were like 14 and 16. So I didn't meet them until I was about 7 years old, 8 years old. So then when we met finally, you know, the family coming together, that was when we packed up and we moved to Michigan. And, you know, my parents having to go through that was very tough. You know what I'm saying? Like not being able to see your kids for, you know, over a decade, you know, was that my earliest memories is of my mom, like crying, like, you know, we get a calling card. Back then that was the calling, you know, that was how you would call home. So they would get a calling card. I would hear my brother's voice and, you know, it'd be like, oh, wow. Like, and I see photos, the guy looks just like me. Guy looks just like me. So it was one of those things, you know, very unique story of ours, but I also know a lot of people have been through something similar trying to make it to America. You know, we didn't come from wealth in Nigeria. We come from Benin, you know what I'm saying? My parents hustled to get us into a position. So moving to Michigan was like, okay, it's like a blessing. And, you know, we just been here since. But ever since I was young, I've been going back and forth to Nigeria, visiting family, stay for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, that's kind of the journey really of my whole family, not just of me, you know. So that's how we ended up here. That's how I ended up here in Detroit. It's where I went to school at and all that. So
yeah, I can certainly hear that you don't have what I'd call a Nigerian accent, so to speak. It's pretty very similar to those of us who were born in America and Canada, United States. Yes, sir. You know, hey, don't get that official with me. Anyways, TYB, go for it.
Yeah. Great. What a great start for this conversation. My question to you is, you said something about what Petra said about you being creative, and, you know, what would you call the genre of music that you do right now? Because when I listen to some of the music that you've produced, I've listened to Ra Ra. Is it Gra Gra? Something like that.
Yeah.
Gra Gra, yes. And the others, they're a little bit different from some of the tracks that I've been playing. Where do you place it?
You know, that's a great question. Like for me personally, like my influences, I grew up on hip hop. You know, I grew up on hip hop. I grew up on R&B, and I think it wasn't until like P Square. You know, obviously, like I would hear my I would hear like you know, High Life. Like my uncle is actually an artist from Benin named Akabaman. So you know, rest in peace to him. You know, that was the music that was played in my childhood. Yeah. So then I liked rap. I liked rap music. So then I grew up on rap, and I always had this music playing around me, African music playing around me, whether it be from my parents or from my older siblings. They were the ones who were listening to the more current sounds, you know, your P Square, your Tubaba, all those sounds you get. So that was kind of like, it was low key influencing me. I didn't really realize it until like I really started to get it like more into like the root of my style. You know, it felt easier to flow on certain beats. I found like something like ignited a bit when I would, you know, slide on African drums. So, you know, I don't know what genre I would place myself. I would say, you know, it's a bit of African music, it's a bit of hip hop, it's a bit of R&B. I just kind of blend the two. I don't even believe in genres. If I'm being honest with you, I don't even think it's a real thing. It's just a category. You know, there's some artists that are in Nigeria that make rock music, but you know, the world may call them Afro beats. But ultimately though, you know, I think that Afro beats, similar to hip hop, is an umbrella term for all these sounds that are coming. And it's all really depending on the artist, you know, how you mix it up, do you want to use a synthesizer that you heard from electronic music? Do you want to use a soul bass line, but also mixing that with, you know, tribal drums? You mix that up and you make something new, something fresh. And I feel like that's what we were doing. I made Gra Gra in Benin during the pandemic. I was there for like, I was in Nigeria for like a year during the pandemic. And I was going to the studio like every day, just trying to make stuff. And I was fighting malaria. So you get like, I was like struggling trying to make this song. and you know, my guy Kingpin, he actually produced that beat, Beanie Boy. You know, it was really a thing where I just wanted to do what I do in hip hop, but over Afro beats, like same energy. Like, okay, I want to rap. I use melodies when I rap too, so I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna see how I like it. And once I started, it's like almost like I couldn't stop. And I've been making Afro beats honestly since like maybe first time I tried it was in Benin, like 2011, and it was trash. Trash.
You may say it's trash, but hey, why was trash is somebody?
Maybe, you know, I have high standards for my own. Like I've been making it for a while, but I didn't feel like I wanted to share it until like 2016, 2017. And when I felt like it was cooked, when it was ready, because, you know, I knew I when I first like really started listening to Afro beats, when I first started, before it was called Afro beats, it was like you know, you hear Wizkid, Mondo, and you just be like, man, they're tripping with these beats. Like that was me. I was like, man, these beats are just getting better and better. The Nigerian producers are just catching up. Technology is just catching up. So it was like, you know, at a certain point, I knew I didn't want to step in there ashy or so-so. I wanted to step in there proper again. So I waited until it was cooked first.
So in essence, if I can put it in a joking manner, when you went to Nigeria during the pandemic, right? Then Afrobeat got into your head. So Gra Gra came in and said, you know what? Let me do that. But when you're on the state side, you do what you want to do.
The truth is, it just depends on the producers that I have around me. Because for me, in Detroit, I couldn't find, like, I made a song called Carrots in 2017. and it premiered on Billboard. And I ended up doing an interview with Hot 97, and you know, all these blogs were like picking up on it. I was rapping on that. The producer's from Detroit. I had to coach him on what I wanted. I said, "Yo, these drums. Okay, now use this synthesizer. Okay,
Exactly.
all right, cool. Boom, 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 boom. Do it like that." And he's a musical genius. So like, I could say it, and he would just catch on to it. And then we just did it like that. So I was doing it in the States. So it wasn't until when I was in Benin and I was in Lagos for like that period of time where I got to meet producers in person, sit in the studio, cook it up. That's where it really I started to feel that energy, and it, you know, ever since I came back too, it's just been, you know, I will say I do still rap on hip hop. I still do it, but it's like it doesn't excite me the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's different I have different levels for my endorphins when I'm making music now. I just need that. I need that something to ginger me. That's just it. So
yeah.
you
know,
combination.
Yeah, I can put myself in it. I can place myself in a particular genre. Whatever comes, and I do it. If it's reggae, I do it. If it's what, I do it. What? Because once you box yourself into a different thing, it's difficult to come out. Once you come out, you have to be better. But you know, there are people who may be doing what you intend to do better than you. So you know what? I try to spread myself all around, and then if it hits, it hits. And I've been lucky throughout my musical career. So I'm in agreement with you, Petra.
Yeah, thank you, Toby. Yeah, I just want to say, OBIE, your music is just like, it's pure fire. Because I'm a hip hop head myself, you know. So yeah. So the fact that you can incorporate it with Afrobeat, it's like takes it to the whole next level. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know,
That's all good.
I was you know, curating a new sound. And not to even say it's new, because there's artists that have been doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like new to this, or they're not. You know, it's not a new thing that's been experimented. But I think, you know, I have like friends in Nigeria who rap, and you know, my whole thing was just like, for me, being born and raised in the U.S., like it was really about curating a unique sound to where I'm doing something that it's been done before, but I'm doing it in an innovative way that fits me and fits my influences. You know, like the radio in North Carolina, 102 Jams was Outkast, Master P. You know what I'm saying? And like that was also on my palette, along with the African music that I was getting from home. So it was like it just naturally started mixing, and so it's like for me to really hit those pockets where I feel like I'm really getting into expressing myself. I can say whatever I want. It feels more natural when I'm this blend of cultures, because really I am a blend of cultures. I'm just sitting on the fence. For real.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I can totally relate, because I'm like British. I'm from England, right? But I sing reggae music. But I was born and raised in England, second generation British, right?
Yeah.
So, so just like you, like when I sing reggae music, I don't sing like pure patois. You know what I mean? Like how Jamaicans would, because I'm not even Jamaican. Like my family's from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But I agree that in order to be your true authentic self, especially as an artist, you have to take elements that represent you. So I love the fact that you took two elements that strongly represent you and you presented it to the world, and we love it. You know what I mean?
I love that. I'm glad. I'm glad it resonates. Yeah.
I'll be bumping you. Honestly, I'll be bumping you like later on tomorrow. Like Canada's gonna hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So I have one more question before I pass it on to Ron. I wanted to ask you, can you just talk a little bit about your album that's coming out? Yeah, tell us about that.
Okay. So crazy thing is, I actually had a dream in like 2016, 2017, that you know, that like the world was gonna like start bugging out. And so I initially was working on a concept that had to do with like the end of the world, essentially. and I worked on the project. I ended up not putting it out. It's actually songs on this new project that are from that era, maybe 2 or 3 songs, right?
Yeah.
It was, I renamed it If the Sky Should Fall. And you know, it was really it gained momentum for me conceptually when I was in Nigeria during the pandemic, because it's like, honestly, we really thought the world was gonna end. Like, it's like, who knows what's about to happen next. So, you know, whether I was in Detroit, you know, because I was in Detroit at the beginning of the pandemic, you know, we couldn't go anywhere. You know, I had my experiences of like, you know, everybody was inside, but me and my people was like, we still
Yeah, you just living. I know.
We just living.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we were turning up or whatever. So, you know, it was cool. And you know, I think when I went to Nigeria, it like took on a different meaning, the pandemic, from the perspective of like being in Nigeria. You know, it was like shut down like by like, you know, normally you don't stay out late if you're not like, you can't just be outside in Benin.
Yeah.
Benin is tough. So, but during the pandemic, it was like especially shut down. There's curfew, and this is only like 3 months after the Lekki toll gate massacre. And if you're familiar with the story that happened in Nigeria, like that prison break that happened during the protest, that was in Benin. That was in Benin.
Wow.
So Benin's security was like this, you know what I'm saying? It just, you know, I feel like as an artist, you know, we're absorbing the energies around us and we're just pushing that out. So I just was talking about my experiences from like, you know, squabbles I was having here in Detroit with people to like being in Nigeria and being like, you know, I was having issues in my relationship. I was, you know, I'm not sure what's about to happen with, you know, the future of music, the future of, I don't know what's going on. So me, I'm just recording. I'm just like, yo, I'm gonna make a project that encapsulates this time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna curate it to what it means to me from my perspective, but also like being in Detroit and being in Nigeria, because I also lived in Lagos for like 6 months that year as well. And that was a whole nother experience for Benin. Like Lagos is a whole different beast. You get Lekki, you know, you got these young boys getting rich off the pandemic.
Oh my God. I hear you. I hear you.
Pandemic. And you know, it was crazy. Like, you know, I got robbed by the police at gunpoint with an AK-47. They took me.
Oh my goodness.
Took me to a ATM and robbed me. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're leaving an event at like 11. And again, this is leading up to like another protest. And they're warning people to stay off the streets. You know what I'm saying? It's a week before, and President Buhari had just made Twitter illegal. He just banned Twitter like 2 weeks ago because Twitter had muted his account because he made genocidal comments. So you're not allowed to have Twitter on your phone in Nigeria, and that's what they use. When the taxi driver drove us into an alleyway. We're like, wait, are we supposed to go to the highway? You know, I'm with my cousin because my cousin a real street nigga. So like, he from Benin. So I'm rolling around with him. He's like, like, you know, I'm good. So they took us to an alleyway. They hopped out of a van. The next thing you know, they took my phone out of my hand. They telling us to get in the car. They hear my accent.
Over.
Yeah, it was a wrap from there.
Yeah, I have a great accent, so I know. It's like you don't want to talk.
You don't want to talk. Yeah, but at the same time, your instincts is like, okay, guys, what's going on? Their eyes just glazed over. You should have seen them. Mad,
I know.
really mad. Like, and I don't even know if they're police officers. They offering after they robbed me. They're offering to be my security if I ever come back to Lagos. So I said, are you mad? Can you imagine? You've robbed me. So now you want to take more money. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I say all these experiences are things that I put on the album. Like I have a song on the album called A Costly Freestyle. And I'm talking about what happened. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the song, you hear a voice note of somebody yelling, "We did it so Twitter," you know, he's talking his shit. That's my cousin. I was recording when we were in the taxi, after we got robbed. I posted it on my TikTok and things like that. So I'm taking any sort of outtake you hear on the album is people I know that I recorded. I was just documenting and put it on the album. So, you know, that's really the album. If the Sky Should Fall, you know, it was meant to be a love story. Like, yo, if the sky should fall, like, I want to spend it with you. I want to be with you if the sky should fall. And that's what the whole narrative of the album is centered around. But then all these different snapshots of experiences during that period of time. So,
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say, like, whew, that sounds amazing. I can't wait for the album. Like, honestly, I can't wait. What?
I'm excited to. I've been waiting to put it out for a while, and you know, I added new songs. I took a lot of songs off of the project, like 3/4 of the songs off of it. I don't think anyone will ever hear it. Maybe they will one day, but you know,
yeah, another project.
Yeah, I might put it out as like you know, unreleased joints. But you know, I really tried to curate it the best I could. The song I made that I just put out, Come Around. I actually recorded that just a few months ago out here in Detroit. So I just, you know, stay tight with my producers, have them sending me stuff from Nigeria, and then just record myself, you know.
Just keep it going. Ron?
Hey, the question I like to ask many artists, because you mentioned this as well. You said you were educated in the music field. Being that I'm one of those people, I spent many, many years at university for music and education and so glad of that. I'm curious to know what your education is in the music field. Like, for instance, I was listening to a bunch of your songs, and I'm not hearing ripping guitar solos. Maybe that's not what you want, but I'm not hearing some of the things that I hear with people that are really up there in that form. Like, we had a guest a few weeks ago, and his violin solos were just virtuoso. He was just
that's crazy.
Yeah, but he had spent many years at university too for it. So just curious to know about your background there again. I'd like to go on background to understand ours. So what is your education in music?
Okay, well, you know, I took music theory, I took songwriting, I took voice at a local community college. That's not what I went to school for overall, like when I went to university. Yeah, but you know, my whole thing was just being able to, at the very least, understand some of the language, and be able to really sit next to my producers and be able to, you know, communicate my ideas. I don't play an instrument, you know what I'm saying? I have you know, on some of the songs that aren't even released, you know, I produce as well. You know, on some of the songs, like, I might throw like you know, I've fiddled with the guitar, like play around, find some chord progressions that I really like, whether it be on the keyboard or on the guitar. You know, I can sit there and really try to like orchestrate like how I want it to sound. But usually what I like to do is take it to people who are really, you know, deeper rooted in the actual creation of like the music, the production, playing that instrument, and then they can take my idea and expand with it. You know, my main focus for me is like as a songwriter and you know, as a lyricist. So, you know, that's I would say the extent.
Yeah, I asked that because a friend of mine who's a producer in Lagos, a fellow I've worked with a fair amount, and he sent me a song the other day that will be coming out, and at the end of it, it's got a ripping guitar solo. And I thought, kudos to you, buddy, because, and I even asked him, who's the guitar player on this? And he told me who it was. And that was interesting because what I was starting to hear in his music, what I'm starting to hear is more people playing the instruments rather than those people just throwing samples together and stuffing them all in here and there, and which we've all heard many, many times. How do you think you go about approaching music when you're writing your own songs that makes you different from others or unique?
I start with melodies. Like, melodies is like, I don't know if that's unique or not, but I just know that's how I.
There's no right or wrong answer to this.
Yeah. That's for me, like, you know, when it comes to music, like there was like my first project that I put out was like definitely more geared towards hip hop. And like, I love rock music. You know what I'm saying? I love MGMT. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers and, you know, groups like that. So like, you know, when I actually co-produced the intro song on that project, And when I wanted to, I have a guitar rip, like where he's like, you know, I actually hummed, I did those melodies, and then I had him come in and play it for me. So a lot of times, like, I'll come up with a sound, I'll float it, I'll make a reference, and then that's the best way I can communicate what I want without, like, you know, and then letting them take they've mastered their craft, they've mastered what they do, and they take it. I trust them to just take it to the moon, you know. So that's typically how I work with producers. I don't know, you know, I borrow too, because like you know, there's artists that I work with who one of my closest friends I grew up with, he's in a group called High Tech, and they actually are the ones who invited me to London recently to do a show with them because I'm on their upcoming album. And you know, the way he records like Young Thug. Like, he'll get on the mic and every 2 bars, he off top, he'll just go. So like, you know, that's another way of doing it that I learned how to, you know, I learned how to do that, borrowed that from him, seeing that that's how he does his thing. And there's a certain freedom that comes with recording like that. But then also, you know, my roots is in writing. My roots is in my pen. So like, sometimes you mix it up. Maybe you write 8 bars and then you let the inspiration and the bull, let it take you wherever you get. So that's just the vibe, you know.
Yeah, you're referring to improv, guys at improv that'll make up things right off the top of their heads.
Yeah.
We call that in the industry improv. Anyways, TYB, go ahead. You've been listening.
Yeah, I've been listening. Very, very great story. I mean, I can identify myself with what he's saying. I'm not, I play a little keyboard, but I won't say I'm an instrumentalist. But whatever, when I'm in the studio, everything is here. My instruments are always here. I just hum. And I've recorded with one producer for over 30, 20, getting to 30 years. And that's Ozzy Gurley. Actually, Ozzy was the man behind Who Let the Dog Out. And I've been with him from day one. And anytime we go into the studio, it's what comes into my head. Ozzy, this is what we are going to do. We've never argued. We've never cursed at each other. We understand each other. So anytime we go there, I hum, and he takes it to the next level. He's a great keyboard player, a very good producer. So I can align myself with what you're saying. And it's a very great conversation. Folks, we're in conversation with a sensational OBIE IYOHA. Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. If you are watching us live, hey, you know what? You just like us. And, you know, share the station with your friends and your friends' friends, and let them know that you have discovered a radio station with a difference that gives you everything that you want to know about Africa, the Caribbean, and the diaspora, and everything that goes with it. Obi, my question to you will be, what challenges have you faced in your career, and how did you overcome them?
Challenges.
There aren't any. It's all easy.
Yeah, and gliding.
Right.
Challenges. I think it's all in mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there was a period of time where my mindset was on things that were outside of my control. And I think once my mind shifted to, okay, focus on what you have in hand and capitalize on that, that was when things started to change for me. So, you know, I had to take a lot of lumps just to get to that point where I kind of understood how the game worked. Because there's no like, I mean, yeah, there's books on the game, but, you know, we work in an industry that's ever changing. It's not like any other industry. So you have to really be like mentally on your toes and paying attention if you're going to make it, if you're going to get anywhere with it. So I think that was my biggest challenge, was the mindset. But once that shifted, it was just a matter of patience. Like, okay, it's a matter of patience. Like, it's just that, like, you know, you see a vision, you have an idea, you build your team, you know, you set your foundations, and then you put in the work and enjoy the process. Don't try to like, oh, I'm trying to get to this goal. It's like, nah, man. It's like, I chose to do music and art because I love the journey. I love like what it feels like doing the work. So that's
good for you.
The enjoyment of it. You know what I'm saying? And so That's just what it is. I think that was the biggest challenge of mine. So.
And is there any one particular thing that could have said that could have made you say, you know what, I give up, enough, that's it, that's it, I'm out of here, I'm out of here?
I don't even know, man, because I'm so stubborn. Like, I'm a stubborn guy. Like, if I want something, that's just what it is. It doesn't matter if whatever you tell me, that's your business. So that's how I've always, you know, I would say early on, when I first started making music, I think I was very fortunate to have people around me who kind of protected like my like they kind of like, how do you even describe it? Like, I feel like I was protected a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a lot of friends take losses, not from like something that people did to them, but just from them making bad decisions. And I was lucky enough to have people around me who helped guided me away from that. But I feel like if I had taken certain L's, I might not even be in a position to keep going. You know what I'm saying? I have friends that who don't have their freedom. I have people who are recovering. I have all like friends who've been through all types of stuff. I've never been through those things, and I'm grateful. So, you know, nothing really has happened to make me, you know, other than the normal struggle of trying to make it as an artist. Like, it's like, oh yeah, like it's hard. It's not easy. It's not built for, you know, soft people. That's just the truth.
Awesome. Petra?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. And I just wanted to kind of backtrack too and say, just like you, Obi, I don't really have that much musical training either. You know, I'm just like a vocalist, and like you, how I get like musically inspired, I get melodies from the Most High. The Most High will say, okay, and I'll just go with it. You know what I'm saying? So I think whatever we can create and whichever we're inspired is beautiful, and we embrace always. You know?
Yeah. 100.
And I wanted to kind of, sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh no, I appreciate what you're saying for sure.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to ask you, what is your why? Because I know TYB mentioned about, like with his last question, like what is it that makes you not give up? Like what is your why? Because like you said, you had friends that, you know, they took L's in other avenues, right? And you could have done that. And it's good to say that we had like, you know, angels around us that have had our best interest at heart. And that's also good too, but you chose to listen, right? And that's probably because there's something burning deep inside of you that knows that whatever it is that you're fighting for is bigger than these L's or distractions. So what is it for you? Like what is your why?
Why?
Good question.
Yeah, I like, you know, I feel like really lucky that like I have like it's a combination of things, you know. I think that mainly, you know, from my life experiences, things that I've been through, I feel like, you know, and I didn't intend for this to be the case. Like I wasn't like trying to, you know, reach people like, oh, I'm trying to be a type of medicine for you, you know. But music saved my life for real. Music saved my life in a literal sense, you know. So to make music honestly from the heart and to be able to share that with people and to help them, and I don't even know in what ways I'm helping. It's just people have come to me and said this to me, like, yo, that mixtape you put out that really like changed my perspective on things. Like, yo, bro, like I appreciate you. Like things like that really blow me away and remind me of why I do it. I do it for people. I make music for people's soul. Like, you know, so it's we live in a world, I feel like there's so many walls and there's so many like things dividing us. And it's to have something, to be able to make something that can transcend lines and reach people and communicate, because it's all communication, is like, that's like what it means for me. Like I want to be able to raise people's vibration from across different walks of life in general, and also get this burning sensation out of my system. Like it's hard to explain. Like I feel like I have a lot to say. I have so much to say, and I need them to listen. I need them to hear me. I want to be heard. So, you know, that's you know, I think just from where my family comes from too, like, you know, I think I'm in a position where, you know, it's a lot of story, there's a lot of experience that I and my family and my extended family have went through, and I want to be able to like channel that and express it. You know, that's big for me. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Very eloquently said. You know what I mean? And one thing you said to me about music saving your life, right? And I think all of us on this platform can agree to some degree that music saved our life, which is why we're part of the industry. You know what I mean? And I just want to make a statement that you are saving lives, and just continue to do that. It's a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then my last question I wanted to ask you. So you're on this trajectory right now. You have your album coming out. You've done shows with artists like Sarkodie and like huge platforms. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Like, where's Obi going to be 5 years from now in his career?
Probably touring.
Toronto.
You know, I love Toronto. You know, I'm not far.
It's right 4 hours. Just 4 hours.
I'm always, you know, Spadina. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Toronto, that's my love.
Nice.
Definitely. You know, I just started this series, and it's been in the works for years, but like I finally was able to execute it. It's called Anime and Chill. It is a art gallery / live performance series that I started here in Detroit. Where we put visual artists that I'm a huge fan of. I put them in the gallery portion, and then I get other artists, performers, to come perform, and then we have DJs spinning until like 3 in the morning. So, you know, it's a curated space. It's an immersive experience, and it's something that I've been building on. And I imagine that's going to be a festival, you know, in less than 5 years. So that's the goal. The last one we just did was on the 14th of June. It was a success. We had a lot of heads in the house, and it was good to see people come out in the city of Detroit to come support my vision, and it worked out. So, you know, we're looking to do another one, and you know, keep it pushing. You know, take it further than Detroit. So, yeah, next 5 years, I'm gonna get it popping like that.
For sure, but do not wait 5 years to bring it to Toronto, because we will be loving that vibe. Like, this year, no later than next, because I want to go. Okay.
For sure. We tap in. We gonna tap in.
Okay, sounds good. Ron?
Hey, no, I have a question that I often ask artists, and often they can't explain it or justify it. But that is, when your songs, when I was listening to them, I was going through them, and I'm going, you know, I have to say that it's hard to understand what this guy is singing, like what his words are. And if you know about music in itself, that people really can relate to, and as you said, can really relate to what you're singing and what you're saying and your message to them. But I found it hard to get them. So get what exactly was being said. So who do you think your audience is? Is it the average American, or imagine Canadian, doesn't matter. North American, is it more geared towards the Nigerian audience? Who is it more geared for, or is it geared for everybody? I've taught English for over 30 years, and as well. And so some of the times I'm listening to it and I was going, what is he singing here? I have no idea. So tell me who you're trying to reach, because is it the average American who only understands English?
I will say that I always make music generally for, like, I try to make music for everybody, but I always lead with the perspective of where I'm coming from. So, like, as a Nigerian, like, you know, it's Nigerian American, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I make music for, you know, my peoples. I imagine what they gonna think. Like, I'm like, yo, I know my cousin gonna love this record. Oh, I know.
Can tell by the beats.
I know they gonna love this one. Like, and when I'm vibing to it, you know, when I'm writing, because, you know, my mentor in writing always told me, you know, you always want to address your music to someone. So, you know, when I write a verse, I'm writing to talk to someone. I'm talking to someone specifically. Like it's not like general statement. So depending on who I'm talking to, that determines the beat. Like how do I approach it? You know what I'm saying? Like I did a song pretty much talking to my dad. It was called Lost in America. I put that out in 2016 and it premiered on the Fader. And like my whole message with that song was like, yo, you know, and I love my dad. We have a great relationship now, but like it wasn't always like that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely spoke to him on that record and he heard it. You know, and the beat that I chose to do that record on was something I felt he would relate to. We sampled African High Life and we put hip hop drums. It was produced by my bro in Baltimore. His name is Chisom Uzosike. He was a producer. And that was, you know, it just really depends on who I'm talking to. So it's not like generally I'm only talking to Africans or generally I'm talking to Detroit. It's like, no, it just depends on who the song is for. And then when I put it all together, it should draw everybody in who fits, who can relate to that. You know?
I guess my question that I often ask you is, I know that many radio stations here in Canada and the United States will not play your songs if they're swearing in. What's the justification for having swearing in your songs?
Yeah. You said, what's my justification for swearing in song? If I'm mad as shit, if I'm mad, or if I want to emphasize something that's really like I'm T right now, I'm cheesed. That's what y'all say in Toronto. I was cheesed. So I say whatever. I was like, man, yo, you know, in real life, I cuss. So like, you know, I'll make clean records. Like I can make, you know, I'll send you a clean record.
That's all up to you. I don't care. It's your choice.
I'll send clean records and stuff. You know, I have clean versions of my songs, but like for real, like, you know, I want, and this is a big thing for me with my visuals, with my songs. What you see and what you hear is what you get. Like I am that same person.
Authentic.
I don't never say stuff on records that ain't true. So whatever you hearing on there, if I said it, I meant it. That's how I was feeling at the time. You know, we change our moods ultimately, but like, you know, overall, like that's just, I just say how I feel. And, you know, my mom said the same thing to me. Don't get me like, she was like, you know, why do you always cuss? Like y'all cuss. Like
your children one day might ask you the same thing.
Like, Daddy, you swear, baby. Like, what you want from me? You swear. You don't swear, but I used to.
I say this because some of the greats, like CeeLo Green, he changed it to "Forget You," which we know what it was instead, just because he wanted airplay. And that got him airplay.
Well, that was the clean version. There was
I know that's where. That's
explicit versions over here on this end, bro. I be listening to explicit joints.
I just know lots of radio stations go plant that. So that's why I asked.
No, you're right. 100%.
I know.
Like, Richard Dean got on my head. She was like, "Well, I need clean records." I'll be like, "I can't send this to the." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Okay, I got you." And then I had to do a bunch of stuff to get the clean record. And it was just, you know, I think that's a part of like the music industry stuff that like can be challenging sometimes. That like,
that's why I ask it.
No, I get you, because it's like
if you're looking for promotion, you got to think that way sometimes rather than just what I want to say. That's
You can't just say whatever and expect to be on the radio. So you know, it's a whole process to getting those things together and making it. Making it palatable for like all ages, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely, you know, that's just a part of the game for real that I had to adjust to because I used to swear all up and down my records.
It caught my attention. It got my attention.
I'm from England. We're just as bad, I swear.
I know y'all crazy. When I was in Brixton and Peckham. And like,
oh my gosh,
y'all turn up.
Oh my gosh, Top Boy all day.
Top Boy, y'all turn up. Y'all know how to turn up. They was swearing up and down. I like how y'all swear.
Oh my gosh,
it sounds cool when y'all swear. I'm like, it sounds vulgar when I hear Americans swear. I'm like, it's not particularly scathing.
That's right. You know, I have sometimes when we queuing in some of the dancehall music, they'll just tell you clean. But hey, man, just keep playing it and then you say it's not clean. What they say is clean is not clean at all.
I know.
That's right. You know, yeah. But I understand where Ron is going. Sometimes, you know, if you're playing it, see, with online radio, you don't know who will be listening to, because if you're asleep, somebody's up, right?
Yeah.
So if it's you know, if you want to do that, you just have to make sure that it's not at a time where kids are up and stuff like that. But sometimes we underestimate kids.
Yeah.
But what they know, we don't know.
You don't know they know that.
That's right. That they know. Yeah. It brings me to my question here, right? How do you stay motivated and productive?
Yeah.
Because, how do you stay motivated and productive? Because this conversation is really, really interesting, and I'm loving it.
How do I stay motivated? You know, I think even more recently, but how do I stay productive and motivated? Like, honestly,
no, that was the question.
That wakes me up. Yeah, it's something that wakes me up. Like, I to be very honest, like even leading up to like Anime and Chill, like I couldn't really chill. Like I would literally I would try to like relax, and then like the image of like what I wanted would like flash in my head. I'm like, yo, I gotta get up. And so it's like, I you know, a problem with me is sometimes I push myself too hard, and I might like crash or some shit. Like I'll be like, you know, you can't. We're not machines, so it's like you gotta like tap into the source. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tap into God. You gotta, you know, talk to people that care about you, and like, just like for me, remembering who I am and what I am is like, okay, don't waste time, because like time is like, you can't. I don't know. Time is such a crazy concept to me. It's like, you know, before you know it, 2 weeks have passed by. Before you know it, a year has passed by. So it's like I try to treat every minute like it's valuable, and I'm not always on top of my game, but I try to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, you know, I'm never going to be in this position again. Things are constantly changing. And so it's like, you know, while you have an opportunity and like, you know, how many millions of people want to do certain things, it's like, you have to be humble in knowing that, like, you know, if you don't work really, really, really hard, there's like, how else would you get it? So, you know, it's just something that has always stuck with me. My dad always said you have to work twice as hard as everybody else. So, you know, it's just something just programmed for me. Whatever it is I'm doing, I want to like commit myself 100%. And it has to come from like right here, like, you know, like I said, that burning feeling inside. Like I need to do this. Like I want to be able to have my music and my art speak for me when I'm no longer here. So that's a big motivator for me. It's like, this shit will outlive me. So like, I want to pour into that and give the time while I have it. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Folks, we are in conversation with the sensational IYOHA. He's in the United States. Yes. I'm not going to specifically say where he's. Well, he's in Michigan. And check him out. He's got some great stuff. I mean, your way. Because you know what? His new album that is due to be released on the 5th of July, you know what? Make every effort to check him out. Yeah. Because this conversation is awesome. One of the best conversations that we've been having here, because he's speaking from the heart. And we are glad that he's here. Petra.
Thank you, TYB.
Okay.
Sorry, that introduction made me just forget the question. And what I wanted to do pretty much, okay, so in relation to the last question that TYB asked you, why is that important to you is what I wanted to kind of expand on that.
Okay. You know, I don't know, it's just the chances of me being alive is so slim. Like when you think about it, you know what I mean? Like I think of like, you know, from like the sperm to like the egg, like this, the chance of me being born in general is very slim. Like, how did I exist? And I have like certain skill sets to be able to project my voice and be able to like share my thoughts and like I do know that not everybody can do that same way. There's certain things I can't do. So it's like, you know, I just feel like the likelihood of everything, it's like, why would I slack? Why wouldn't I pour myself into that? And my favorite artists, their music is like, it outlives them, you know.
Exactly. They have legacy, right?
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't profess to know the meaning of life. I think we're all just cogs and bolts in this bigger picture. And I feel like for me, mine is as an artist. And so that I can't even fully explain why I want this music to exist, but it's like, it feels like it's supposed to, like in my soul. Like, I need to, you know, what I see in my eyes and what I think in my head, like I feel like I need to share that. I need to get that out. So, you know, I'm inspired to try to attempt to make timeless music. That's like my goal. That's like my ultimate, like, you know, if I didn't do it on this project, I'll do it on the next one. If I didn't do it on the next one, I'm gonna keep going until I'm making timeless music that can sit with people, that I can look back on when I'm old and be like, yo, I remember how I felt when I was here. I remember what this was. I remember this time period. And we're living in crazy times. So, you know, my role in it as an artist is to reflect the times so that people can look back and document, like, oh, I remember the pandemic. Oh, I remember, that was crazy. I've never seen anything like, I don't think anything in humanity has happened like this. I might be wrong, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, that's crazy. The whole world shut down. So, you know, that's an example of, like, you know, reflecting the times and, you know, giving something to the next generation. You know what I'm saying? I know there's some kid in like Benin or in Texas who's like probably like 11 or something, and he's just cooking something in his head. And I'm like, yo, I hope this guides you in that direction, my boy. Like, it's all about the bigger picture. So to be a part of that, even the fact that y'all asking me for an interview and wanting to know my thoughts is a huge honor. So it's like, yo, like, I just want to take it like full advantage of that. I want to like take it. So, you know, that's why I'm inspired. I think every little bit of like every small win gingers me. I'm like, yeah, keep going. Come on. What are you doing? Come on. Wake up. You gotta go. That's how I be feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I spread that feeling to my team, to my boys. You know, I have other artists that are behind me that are like super talented, and like, you know, I hope to be a spearhead to be able to like introduce people to like this particular vibration that we cooking up, this particular frequency that we sitting on, that I think is unique and special, and I think it can uplift other people's frequencies. So I'm all about that.
Most definitely. And keep doing it. They're inspiring the world right now. You're definitely leaving your legacy and leaving your mark, you know, and we're really excited to see where it's gonna go, you know?
Me too.
And like my last question, kind of going on to what you're saying about there could be some boy in Benin or some boy in Texas listening to you. What would be your advice for those boys or girl or young people listening, wanting to be an OBIE, or how could you inspire them? Like, what are your words for them right now?
Words of wisdom.
Walk by vision, not by sight. Don't worry about what, you know, obviously there's the people that you listen to, but your soul will let you know, they're making sense. I'm hearing this. Follow your vision. If you have a vision, follow your vision. That's it. Follow your vision, because the vision is not yours. Is someone put it there. It's being passed down to you. Picking up on something. So stay true to that and lock into that, and don't let up for any reason. Like that's my best advice to them. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. It may not happen tomorrow, but you know, when you live in your life with that purpose and what you really believe in, it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It happens when it's supposed to happen. So that's just it. So that would be what I would say to them.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to say also, as a side note, you could be a motivational speaker too, because I was taking notes. I'm inspired. I'm like, okay. I love it. You're so inspiring, B. I love it, yo. Keep it up, man.
Very positive.
Thank you.
The British is coming up now.
I guess the one question I have is, Are you, Obi, are you able to survive as a working musician? This is so tough. I know so many people who have day jobs, and then they do nighttime work and record albums and do all different kinds of stuff because, I mean, the music industry is so difficult to, as we all know, to survive in. Do you have a day job? Do you work? Are you a full-time musician? What are you doing to stay, afloat?
Look, I'm a full-time musician, but I also have a full-time job, and that's just how I've been rocking. Luckily for me, I did a lot of studying, I did a lot of research, and figured out how to build my team. Shout out to my boy Brian Du, OPC Vintage. He's my executive producer for this project. He was able to, come through with, financial end of what it takes to be able to get things rolling. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very important. It's a business. So, I did a lot of the work, the groundwork. I had been on tour, I traveled, I met this person, met that person. And so, for someone to see my vision and say, hey, I bet on you. So that changed, you know what I'm saying? And so then, but yeah, I can still keep my day job. Like I gotta keep I gotta keep these lights on and all that. So, the goal is to pivot, and ultimately I'm all for multiple streams of revenue. So, I do whatever is needed, but I do medical assistance at a few facilities, and it's like the way I have my schedule set up is like, I work through an agency, so I can be working. I could work like 50 hours in 1 week and not work at all the next week. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how I set it up, and I had to position myself in order to be able to. And which goes back to what I was saying before. It's like you really have to just set your foundations and then do the work. Okay? Once you have your foundation, you can build, and then things start to move. And the goal is to not have to step into a medical facility unless I got a code.
You're like so many others who have a day job as well. I did too. I taught music instead of being out on the road all the time, because being out on the road is a tough business.
Sure.
Anyways, TYB.
Yeah. It's been a very wonderful conversation, but we are going to reintroduce what we used to do. Maybe Ron, you were not privy to this. Anyone
I know TYB.
That's
I know.
Right. We'll give you a riddle to solve.
Yes.
Before we go. And the riddle that I'm going to be giving you is that any one of you will be able to. No, not you, Petra, because I know you know some of the answers. But I won't say
anything.
You can just wink to Ron or Obi. It is this, that I am born tall, but I die short. I'm used inside the house. Who am I? I am born tall, but I die short. I'm used inside the house. Who am I? Any checkers out there, listeners? This is the easiest.
If they don't know, I think.
Can we get a hint?
No. What did you say, Obi?
Can we get a hint?
If I give you a hint, you will get it right.
Is it like a bathroom item or something?
I know what it is, eh? I think I know.
I know you know. I know. I've asked the question.
But I haven't heard this one, TYB, eh? I haven't heard this one.
No, I gave it to Check. When Check was here, I gave it to Check. When Check was
Oh.
I am born tall, but I die short. I'm used inside the house. Who am I?
Come on, Obi, man. You got this, B. Come on, B.
Oh.
You know how knowledgeable you are, B? Come on, man.
What are you using the house that dies short? How does it?
Yeah.
Come on, Ron.
Is it DYES? Dies short? No. Okay.
Okay, I'll skip that. I'll come back.
Can I say TYB?
I know you know.
Somebody got to get it, because I'm not gonna be able to relax. I'm gonna be
no kidding. Let me go.
I'll give you something to to take the pressure off you.
Okay.
I'm neither inside nor outside, but I'm in every house. Who am I? I'm neither inside nor outside, but I'm in every house. Who am
The
I?
window.
The
The
door?
window.
The front door?
Window?
Ron, is that your last
Final offer?
Yeah.
A window? Yes.
An Obi?
I said a door. I don't know. I think, but door is not inside or outside.
Yeah!
Door?
Right.
Okay.
Obi,
Hey, I adore you
I think it
for
could be
getting that one.
It could have been a
Either
window.
or.
It could have been a window.
It
It
could
could have been a
either
window,
or.
but I was asking for a door.
The first time I guessed window.
What was
Oh,
the
yeah.
last one? Can you tell us? Can you tell us what the last
Can I say I know it?
what was it?
I was born tall. I died very short. I'm used inside the house. Who am I? 10, 9,
Oh, it's on the countdown. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna.
7,
Come on, fellas.
5, 4, 3,
I did 6 years of university. I still can't figure this
Wow.
one.
Incense? I don't know.
Go
Good
ahead. Go ahead.
answer. Can I say it?
Go ahead.
A match.
No, you got it wrong too.
Oh, did I
Oh,
get it
it's
wrong?
not.
I thought it was a match.
No,
That's tall and dies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the answer is a
What is
candle.
it?
It's a
Oh,
candle.
somebody said candle.
Candle.
Could have been up matches.
Randy
Could
said-
have been like
So
that.
close.
Candle. Somebody in the comments, I didn't even see it.
That's
Instagram.
right.
They said Candle. They
It's
got
a candle. It's a candle. It's a candle. That's right.
That's what's that's crazy.
Ah.
That's crazy. That was close.
I did not think. I thought it was a match for real.
Yeah,
No.
we was around. We was in the ballpark.
And
We
that
were,
was
incense and candle. Yeah, that's better than candle, anyways.
That's
Incense
right.
and matches.
by Ron. I'll give you the window. Yeah, the window that you said.
That's what I'm saying. It could be
Could
door
be.
or window.
It could be anything inside the house anyway.
And that's out as well. Both.
That's right.
I adore Obi for getting it. I adore him.
Yeah.
They had us
Got it.
stumped for a second, bro. They had us stumped.
Yeah.
We
You know what?
all adore you.
The countdown like this.
Yes. But you know what, Obi? How can people or audiences or your fans get what is upcoming, with your album and your contacts? The floor is yours, please.
Follow me on Instagram. I'm always on the gram. Follow me at Hey Obie. That's HEWYOBIE. Hey Obie. You can follow me on all platforms. That's my handle. I be on Instagram. Sometimes I go live. I post snippets, all that stuff. And yeah, tap in with me. You can follow me on Spotify as well. OBIE, IYOHA, IYOHA. Tap in with me, man. I got a lot of new music coming up, a lot of videos, a lot of things. This is like a, kind of like the start of, a lot of rollout of music I've been sitting on. So, tap in with me.
Awesome. You know what? You cannot get out of the studio without saying a very big thank you to Grunge Cake Agency.
Richard the Queen.
We love you. Oh, yes. You know what? This woman deserves a Nobel Peace Prize.
I swear.
Because she's elevated the music and then she's giving us the wherewithal to proceed and then to bring the music out there, to bring and highlight musicians or artists. I like to use the word artists who otherwise would not have been discovered or known or to be brought out there. She's doing everything out there. So folks, we thank Richardine. We thank the studio staff. We thank you, Obi, for taking the time off your busy schedule. Yes, you know what?
Thank you, Obi. It's been a pleasure.
PETRAA RON. We are going to be here in 7 days, folks, with another artist. Thank you for your time, folks. We'll be here again next week. But Obi, I would like to reassure you that your music will be here 24/7. And this is your radio station too.
Hey.
Anytime.
I'm bumping in my car too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime you come around, and then we'll be happy to have a very great conversation with you. You know what? We've gone over the time, but it was worth it.
Absolutely.
And then you know what? Such a great conversation, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope, before I go, I hope you've gotten over the robbery.
Oh, I'm on past it. You know, you gotta take them L's. You gotta take them L's as they come, baby.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Thank you for sharing your space and time with us. We'll be back again in 7 days.